Chris Lovell here with another edition of Pirate Talk. Did want to thank the folks at Texas Tech Federal Credit Union for sponsoring these podcasts. So we are in the midst of kind of springtime. Track season is upon us, so our man Devin Ramby, the head coach of Lubbock-Cooper Track and Field, is here. And your season's about to start getting a little crazy here.
Yeah, we kind of split it between two. We call it preseason and championship season, and so we're moving into championship season. That's
Okay.
district and beyond.
I love it. It's like Buzz Lightyear, right?
Yeah, no doubt. That's exactly right. It's a great way to explain it.
Okay, so take me through the early part of the season, because we want to kind of the purpose of talking to Coach Ramby today was that Lubbock-Cooper will host the district meet next week. It's a big deal, all hands on deck kind of thing. But leading up to this point, what's it been like, and kind of take me through that?
Yeah, early season is really just about kind of cutting your teeth, figuring out your contenders and your pretenders within your own team. Because, there's a lot of stuff before season these kids can go through and they can run good practice times. But when the lights come on and there's medals on the line and there's someone different beside you in this lane and that lane, how are they going to respond? And so you learn a lot about kids, and sometimes you learn more about, when things don't go their way versus when they do. And I think that does a really awesome job preparing us for what we call championship season, where it is playoff style, because it's, a district, your top four are going to move on to area, and then at area, your top four are going to move on to regionals, and then at regionals, your top two are going to move on to state. And so at that point, it doesn't matter about times. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff. It's like, hey, what place are you? It's about the competition of it. And so this early season is about that. We want to go to hard meets. We traveled to Amarillo. We went to Midland. Friendship always puts on a great meet. Things like that, where we want to run against the best in the area, in the Panhandle, especially in our region. And then kind of see where you shake out, what kids are going to compete when things go their way versus not. And then that's how we know moving into this side who needs to go where.
How many kids do you have in the program right now?
Oh, man, this is this is our biggest year we've ever had. I mean, I'm running out of sweats and bags.
Every I think sport over at Cooper has kind of said that. Hence the reason that there's a new high school.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because everybody's busting at the seams.
Yeah. So I think our numbers this year, like competing wise, we take close to about 50 girls and 50 boys to meet. So about
this is varsity and
JV?
JV?
So it's about 100 total. But then overall program, we're close to about 130. Because we've got some developmentals that, they're pups, they're freshmen. So they're not quite good enough to go to the meets, but we wanted to be part of it so that, next couple of years they can fill in some gaps after seniors leave or whatever. So I'd say about 130.
Okay. So how does it work on you hosting the district meet? Is this like a rotation? Do you get like does somebody call you and go, hey, here's what's happening. You're going to host them. How does that work?
Yeah, it's starting out this year. It's supposed to be Lubbock hosting at Lowry. And we didn't know we were hosting until almost about 4 weeks in.
No turf.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Plus, they're hosting 4A. And so they didn't want to double up two districts at once. Okay. So I found out a couple weeks in, hey, by the way, okay.
Who calls you?
It was Kat. It was Kat.
Max called you.
Max called me, and it was, I did it with a smile. Okay, that sounds great. Because hosting is it's a beast. It really is. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
I will say, between Chip, Max, and I, we do have it down to a science. Like, it's took us about 3 or 4 years, but we can roll those things out pretty good now. But I'll tell you, when we're hosting, my stress levels are out the roof. I think when we hosted a couple weeks, I think I walked about 19 miles on my watch.
I was able to sit next to you in one of your calmer moments and enjoy some hush puppies together.
Yeah, no doubt. That was my 20 minutes of break there.
And I just happened to be lucky enough to be right place, right time. How many people does it take to be involved to host these meets? Not just on your side of things or the Cooper side of things, but really there's the coaches and everything heavily involved, and it's a 2-day deal.
Yeah, it's a prelims finals deal. The whole phrase "it takes a village." I believe that was said by someone hosting a track meet, because it does. It takes a lot. I mean, from different coaches running off field events to a whole entire army of kids coming out and raking pits, helping set hurdles, shagging implements at shot and disc, sticking at jumping events, from hip stickers. We have managers helping with hip stickers for cameras, and we had managers out at medals stand with Mr. Bullen handing out medals. And so it really is like a truly, probably 50, 60 people worth of just working of different events, plus your staff doing all their stuff that they're doing.
It's not Mr. That's Matt Bullen.
There you
to
go.
those people out there. Even so much all hands on deck, Mr. Bryant takes a vital role into these track
Man,
meets.
I'm going to tell you this. You put a starter pistol in that guy's hands, and he's money. He can go to work.
Yeah, and he's a track and field guy. He does the Texas Tech meets for Coach Kitley over there, and I saw him at the two meets I've watched at your place, and he's just heavily involved, and it's great. I love it.
I haven't really seen him in his element here, but I can tell you at the track meet that is his element. He just goes into a wholly different persona. I can run it. I can do it.
Vibe.
I'll shoot the pistol if I need to shoot it.
Do people realize the technology also involved in this track meet type stuff here?
I don't know. I'll say this. You can definitely tell when you talk to other people that host, like it's a different language of like, oh, you know how to host and I know how to host, and we can talk high-tech computers and we can talk entries and we can talk all that stuff. Because I do think that if you've never done it, you don't really know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because you'll have people chirping at you about, well, why is it taking so long in between races? And you're like, well, it's a computer problem. Like, our hands are tied. It takes what it takes. And if they've never done that, they don't really understand that. And so there just comes a bit of learning curve that comes with it. And there's things you learn just to roll with. Things go wrong. It's just part of it. You just got to be able to go into it saying,
it's like a wedding or something.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Hey, bad things are going to happen,
Yeah.
but it's all right. We're going to get through it.
Yeah. I was sitting. It's just I was not prepared for it. Track meets are organized chaos anyway. There's always something going on. You almost aren't even trained what to look for because you're hearing gunshots and cheering and everything, and you don't know. Yeah, it's all the things at the same time. But sitting up there with Coach Catwinkle and Coach Sexton and Coach Darden, and there's people coming in and out with these sheets, and one guy's got the button on the camera at the finish line.
Capture.
Somebody's entering the deals. Somebody else is looking ahead at the. It was just wild.
And then you got the radios with the announcer on like
hip stickers.
Yeah, next event needs to check in first call
or move the hurdles up or down.
And then you got them checking zones on relays, and it really is like herding cats. As long as you're moving forward, it's okay.
How long does it take you? Like how long, literally, how many, if you could put a days or hours component on it, or how far ahead you start looking at to kind of organize to get your people right, to get you explain that to me.
So it starts in the fall.
Okay.
To be 100% honest with you, we probably early September, early October, we start looking at dates. And like, okay, when's our meet going to fit in here? And so then you find a date. It's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And at that point, you reach out to like, maintenance. Okay, hey, these are the days we're hosting. We need lines drawn, sectors drawn. We need pits tilled and raked. At that point, you're going to reach out to coaches. Okay, we're hosting these days. Clear your calendar.
Yeah, you got to be here. Because it was everybody that I know that works for Lubbock-Cooper and Athletics was there that day.
Exactly.
I'm not even joking.
And so then, probably as soon as football hits playoffs, that's when you start sending out your invites to your other track coaches. Hey, this is when we're hosting. Can you come? Then you start reaching out to parents. Hey, we got these dates. Can you help? And so it really starts about that early. And then as far as like the actual real in the moment stuff, that's probably about a week ahead. Okay. Coach Bacchus, myself, Coach Blakely.
Because I walked by Max's office the other day, and you and him were already working on this stuff a week ago, and it's still it's not until technically next week.
Yeah, about a week from yesterday, and so at that point we're getting buckets ready. We're rolling out all the banners for like roping the field off, setting hurdles, getting hurdles out in general, timing stands. Roping off where the camera's going to go. And so all that starts about a week ahead. So that's the point where I had to start almost dipping out from my normal coaching duties and be like, guys, I've got to move hurdles. I've got to do this. And so hopefully at that point your team is pretty well, self-regulated. They understand the rhythm and the chaos and the order of things, and they can run themselves almost.
Is there so you as so we're talking district meet here, and you as the head coach of Lubbock-Cooper, is there something that, first of all, do you get to watch every event?
I will say that's probably why I round up about 19 miles of walking a meet, is because As the head guy, my thing was always I want to make sure every kid sees me at their event.
Okay.
As best I can. I think that's my obligation as the head guy. Those kids need to see me. Now, does that mean I get to every event, every meet? Absolutely not. Simply because of just the locations of events. I mean, if you go to like a good one that I'm trying to think of is like our meet, for instance. Disc is way out there in the north section. It's behind tennis courts. Well, shots in the stadium, I got long and triple behind the scoreboard, the far, far south end. And so trying to get from spot to spot, and someone always catches you, oh, we need you over here. And, Cat's ready to me, I need to do this. And so at some point I'm like, well, I can't make it to disc today, or I can't get to pole vault today. But in a normal day, I really do want those kids to see me at their event. And I do try to get to everyone.
That walkie-talkie gets burned up, boy.
Oh, man,
we need to figure out a way to sponsor that feed on that, and so everybody else, it's kind of like the NASCAR races when you can hear the driver and the pit crew. I'd love for everybody else to hear. Probably can't do that, but
pay-per-view that, and people would pay. I guarantee.
That's right. Is there now? Let me rephrase that question.
Okay.
Is there, because of the way your team is built? Look, I know that and we'll talk about some of that here in a second.
Yeah.
But your girls 4x200, your boys 4x100, there's certain events where your team is really good this year. Are there certain events like, okay, I will drop what I'm doing and I am going to watch this because it's very important for our team and, all those kinds of things?
Yeah. So like for me, there's certain times where like if we have, because like the biggest thing for me is I understand life happens outside of track. And so like there's some family stuff or whatever that some coaches have to be late or this, that, the other. And so for me, I just want to fill those gaps. So if there's for some reason a coach is gone, like our triple jump coach, I got to be there. Those kids need someone there, or pole vault or whatever. But then for me personally, it's like I coach relays and sprints.
So that's your baby.
And so that's my baby. And
that's why they're so good, folks. Yeah,
well, I won't say that. I just got good kids.
Yeah, I know,
I drive the bus, man. But yeah, I think that's my deal is like for relays, I want to see there because like those are me coaching those handoffs. So like if something goes wrong, well, that's on me. Or sprints. If we have a bad start or a bad end of the race, well, that's me. So I do try to get to sprints and relays for sure because that's my stuff. And yeah, it's my baby for sure.
You do have some good relay teams this particular year. I think it's kind of been that way. Your girls, did I say that right? 4x2, and then the boys 4x1.
So the girls 4x2. I think they broke the school record. I want to say the second meet of the year from 2016, and then I think they've rebroken it about 4 more times.
And what happened in the last meet? They broke it again, but maybe there was a DQ.
Prelims. So prelims they broke it. It was 143.0, and they went 142.11.
Okay.
So they just shattered it completely. And that was prelims day. So they qualified first, and then there was a DQ on Saturday. I'm not gonna go into it, but there's a DQ Saturday. So. Okay. But hey. It's a learning curve. Bad things happen.
Okay.
We'll be all right.
Okay. I like the way you phrase that.
Yeah.
I don't know who's responsible for the DQ, but we got our eye on you, man.
Yeah,
or
really.
Girl. Yeah, whatever. And the 4x1 for the boys, this is the one that Cal Ritz is on. Yes, yes.
So.
Yeah, highlight some of the,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk about the girls team first.
Okay, I can go girls first.
Yeah, girls first, and then we'll talk about the boys relay team.
I think the girls 4x1 gets overshadowed a little bit because of the 4x2, but they broke the school record as well from 2021, and they did that in about the third or fourth meet. So these are both pretty early seasons because typically a lot of those records are set in like April when the weather's good, not in February when it's 30 degrees and windy outside. So if they can break a record then there's no telling how low we can go. Okay. So I always tell them that because they always want their records on the board. And I'm like, look, you're going to break it about 7 more times. So instead of me climbing a ladder 7 times, let's just wait. And at the end of the year, I'll put the best time out there. So that happens a lot. And I think the deal is once they break it once, a little bit of confidence starts rolling. And so then it's like, hey, we're good. We can do this. And they've got a little swagger walking out there. And so then they'll just re-break it. And then as the weather gets better, we'll just get faster. So the 4x1's been no different than that.
What do you mean the weather? It's been perfectly fine. The wind hasn't blown or anything. It's been great.
Those brown days, that's when we're at our best.
It depends on which way you're running. It's
Yeah,
quite
no
possible. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But no, and then just sprints in general. I mean, the girls' team this year, man, they are sophomore heavy, and
Yeah.
those sophomores are talented. Keegan Galmore, Naomi Wines, who she broke the Open 200 record. She tied the high jump record. She's a stud, just a sophomore. Keegan Galmore, who was flirting with the 100 record, and then her 200 record is the one that Naomi broke. So, I mean, those two alone, and then you've got Campbell Beeler, who's a freshman stud, who's on those relays. Sophia DeGroot, our triple jumper, has been on those relays a little bit too. We've had
And you've kind of adjusted that, I think, in recent weeks too.
yeah.
based on-
This is also the kind of time of the year we start playing with some stuff. All right, hey, let's see if we can mix this leg and that leg and see what you can come up with. And the girls have taken it in stride. And that's what we always tell them is like, regardless of what happens, who's on what, like it's all a group effort and it's a team deal. And so that's the biggest thing I've tried to do with all our teams, guys and girls, is just really over communicate with them about why we're making the decisions we make. I'm an over-explainer. And so even in workouts, if we're doing a new workout, I'm trying to over-explain why. Like, hey, we're doing this lift right here, and this is why. When running happens, this is directly related to that. And I just think the more they know, it helps a lot on the buy-in aspect of it.
Okay.
If you can explain to them why, well, then there's not going to be a lot of kickback. They're like, oh, well, Coach Ramby told me why we're doing
Yeah,
this.
I'm shocked to hear that a kid would want to know why.
Yeah,
An
no
athlete-
doubt.
An athlete, yeah, that's right.
But no, yeah, and then jumps-wise, our girls' jumps is probably the deepest it's been since I've been here. We've got 2 girls over 35 in triple. There were years I didn't have one over 33 with Kaylin Whitley and Sophia. Sophia's popped a 19 in long jump. That puts her top 8 in the state. Like I said, Naomi, Brentley Preston in the high jump, Sarah Goltz, McKenna Welch in high jump. There's just I could go on and on and on about just all the talent there is this year on the girls' side. And so I'm really, really, really hoping that they have a really good chance at their first district title since 2018.
Okay.
So Chip was the last one to hoist that girls' trophy in 2016, 17, and then we did it once in 18. So I'm trying to get back on track with them. And then the guys' side, they won last year for the first time in a while. Okay. And I think, with a foundation like, Cal Ritz, I think you can build a lot around him too. And so he being the second leg in that 4x1, heck, the boys 4x1 and the girls 4x1 were the first ones to qualify for the Texas Relays since I've been here. So that was a pretty historic moment to take them down to Austin to run. And they did great down there. They ran great. They ran their second fastest time all year. Cal hit a new PR in the 100, 10.69. Cooper Morris ran the hurdles down there. So it was a lot of fun to go down there and put those kids in that situation. Get used to running on that track in that environment.
Because that's a big-time stage.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. And I mean, there were high school teams from Washington, D.C. IMG Academy was there, ran up 40.1, which is stupid. It's just stuff like
At
that.
that point, you kind of became a
Yeah,
fan
and then
of it,
Summer
yeah.
Creek, down there from the Houston area, and Duncanville and Lancaster. I mean, it's like the who's who of Texas.
Yeah.
Phoenix, Arizona has some stud teams out there. California. I could go on and on. So to put those kids in that situation, I mean, our 4x1 gets down there. We're getting ready to go inside, and Thad Haney's tapping me on the shoulder, and he's kind of stuttering like, Coach, can you come here? And I turn around, and they want to take a picture with Matthew Bowling from Georgia. Like, it's just, they're all right there. Shakari Richardson was there, Olympian running right, warming up to us next on the field. And so it was a really cool experience. And I'm excited to take more kids down there in the future. I think the girls have a really legit shot going next year. I mean, they qualified this year, but we couldn't go. We had some health issues on the relay, so they needed to take that week off. But it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I mean, it's what sports are all about, man.
Yeah.
Those experiences and making memories and competing on
Absolutely.
big stages and all those things.
Absolutely.
I'm familiar with some of the. You mentioned Cal Ritz. I'm familiar with some of the football guys, and because Ty Polite throws the
Yeah.
discus and the
Oh,
shot
absolutely.
a long ways. Is there any other guys that kind of stick out?
Yeah.
Maybe even younger.
Oh, absolutely. I'll brag on the JVs a little bit for a second. The JV boys are having some really good efforts from first-year track guys. Archer Lefebvre's come out for the first time, and he's doing great. Preston Jones, Kyler McDowell is running. First time he's come out since junior high. He had an injury and couldn't play baseball, and we're thankfully came out because he's running his butt off on that JV. Tommy Cone. There's just tons and I could go on and on with them too. But yeah, and then on the guys' side, there's some younger ones there too. Branson Carlisle is running really well. Gavin Parrott he won long and triple last week at Lubbock. I mean, he went 45.8 PR. Ethan Nichols is a junior. They're both juniors, but Ethan Nichols is jumping great. Kyler Greer in pole vault's doing really well. Holden Cross is only a sophomore. He's doing really well. Chris Carrillo, first time coming out and throwing, he's doing really well.
Linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely. Hudson Cross, linebacker there too. He came out and he's 19-foot long jumper as a middle linebacker. Like it's just throw him on the mile relay. Like you see a lot from these football boys just from that toughness aspect. They bring that to the track, and they might not have the most talent, but they got the mindset to be successful. So it's fun to watch them too.
And what is I think the most fascinating thing, and you kind of described it earlier on when we started talking that as you get going into past district and you start narrowing it down, it becomes about how you finish. But my favorite thing about your sport, and it's kind of like golf in that way, it's not subjective. It's the clock tells you everything you need to know, or the measuring tape tells you everything you need. The end. I mean, like there's no subjective. Well, I'm better than that guy, or she's better. No. The clock tells us what is going on.
Absolutely. And we talk to the kids about that all the time. We tell them, hey man, you can make your own way in track. Yeah. There is absolutely no subjective opinions on that.
Yeah, you're just putting it. I mean,
we're gonna scaffold it for you, and you go perform, and we'll look back and say, yeah, you're the third fastest, or you're the fourth fastest from what you've shown. And we start out going off practice stuff, and then that kind of gets us started. But then once that happens, we kind of move into meets because there's always those kids, and I know every sport has it, but those ones that are practice players.
Oh yeah, and then when no doubt.
And I think they struggle a little bit with that, but then at the same time, it's like, we got to see you perform on the track. Like we can talk the talk, but at one point we got to go walk the walk. Yeah. And some kids got that, and some kids don't. And that is the nice thing about it is, at the same time, it's kind of hard because there's kids you love and kids you like, and you want them to find those spots, but they just don't have the times. And that's a really hard conversation that myself and our staff has to have with some kids that we absolutely love. And so that's the not fun part about it. But those are few and far between. Yeah.
But at least you look at the time and go.
And that's the deal. Is like those kids have an opportunity. And that's what I like about track is that it doesn't matter where you come from, rich, poor, what side of the tracks you live on. It doesn't matter. You can make your way in track if you're willing to put in the work and hit those times.
It's just you and a stopwatch.
That's right. That's right. You love it.
So you'll host that meet next week, and it's on. Is it Tuesday, Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday, Thursday.
Excuse me. Okay, so we're talking. Things get going on the first day on Wednesday at what time?
I want to say it's a 1:00 start for field events.
1:00 field events.
Probably I want to say 4:30 for running. I don't have that schedule on me right now.
No, but we'll ballpark it. I mean, so and it'll go till what, 7?
Yeah, it's not going to be super long that first night, just because we're doing prelims only. So that takes out your relays, your distance events.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna go hurdles, hundreds, 4.32, and that's it.
Okay.
So it'll go pretty quick that first night of prelims.
Okay.
And then
Day 2.
Finals go a little bit longer. Okay. So I'd say probably I want to say it's like a 3:30 start, and then we'll probably finish about 6:37.
Okay,
about 3.5 hour meet. Yeah.
On day 1, okay, and then day 2 timing.
Timing will end up being similar, just because now you only got one heat of each.
Okay.
So it'll end up being pretty close. I want to say in the past we've finished up about 7:00.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, sun's still up.
Because we were out there that Friday before spring break, and it was 8:30.
Yep. And that's not bad for invitational. I'll take that all day.
Okay.
So that was good.
Yeah. So plan that around your spring break. I guess you've hosted that invitational those 2 days right before spring break for how many years now?
So this is our first year actually getting to do a 2-day. Typically it's just a one-day Friday. We'll start at 10:30 in the morning, finish at 9:00 at night. And so it'd been about 5 years of that spot. Of course, when I grew up, we did not host it then. I think we hosted a couple weeks before that.
I see. Okay.
At the old stomping grass ground. But
we were talking, your sport's similar to golf and all that. Do you Masters guy?
Oh, absolutely. I got my Masters pool ready. I was watching the par 3 contest last night. I'm all in on golf. I'm a big golf guy. I don't miss a major, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, majors are fun. You ever been?
No, I'd love to someday.
It's
It's during my
incredible.
season, unfortunately.
I
So
know.
I don't know if I'll make it to the Masters
It's
till I retire,
incredible.
but
Yeah, you
I want to
go-
go to the Open. I want to go to US.
Get you an egg salad sandwich or pimento
Oh,
cheese.
I'm planning on
They're
it.
phenomenal.
Planning on it.
Yeah, and TV doesn't do it any justice. You got a pick the
For this
Masters?
one, I've got a couple. Watching part 3 contest, I feel good about Spieth. I think Koepka's going to surprise some people.
Okay.
I really do. I don't know. The live thing took some pressure off him.
Okay.
I think he's just go out there.
Have
to
you
play.
watched the show on Netflix about those
Oh,
guys?
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
It
fun.
made me think differently of Brooks Koepka.
I know,
Like,
me
after
too.
watching that, yeah.
The stuff he struggles with.
Yeah.
And same thing with Joel Damon.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it made me
right.
like that
Yeah,
dude more.
That's right. That's right. And it's okay. So there's Masters. We kind of transition from track to golf.
Yeah.
Don't
Fine by me.
Don't hold me against it, or don't hold it against me, I should say. It's Easter, kind of this weekend too. You a Peeps guy or a Cadbury egg guy?
Honestly, neither. My
Neither,
wife's
yeah.
is big on Peeps, so like I'll hook her up. But
It's
for me, it's the Reese's eggs. All
yeah.
day.
And if you've ever seen a Peep how it operates in a microwave, Google it.
Yeah, Google it
or
first.
YouTube it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. But
No
yeah,
doubt.
I'm not gonna involve myself
Nope.
with the Peep category. Yeah, I'm probably more of a Reese's egg.
Me too.
Yeah, guy.
Throw 'em
yeah.
in the fridge,
That's-
chilling down.
There you go. Have you ever? Yes or no? Tell the truth here.
Okay.
Have you ever taken an egg out of somebody's basket at an Easter egg hunt that wasn't yours when you were growing up?
Oh, growing up, probably not. I was too much of a rule follower. Since then, I'll sneak one out of my daughter's basket.
Didn't want to be DQ'd.
Yeah, don't want to be DQ'd.
That's right.
Got to
That's right.
play it the right way.
Yeah, if you were dyeing an Easter egg, you'd do what with it? What color? What would be on there? What are you rolling with?
Oh
there?
man, that's tough. I haven't dyed an egg.
Probably. I mean, let's be honest.
years.
You'd probably put like a lightning bolt on it. That's kind of your thing.
Nowadays, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lightning bolt. Yeah, I get bored easily, and so every 3 or 4 years, I got to rebrand ourselves.
Okay.
So I'll come up with a new logo or something different just to switch it up. I like track having an identifying.
Oh,
you look
brand.
at that, you're like track.
Yeah, and a brand.
And I think the
absolutely.
kids like it too. And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
for me, the lightning bolt signified like, yeah, we're fast.
Fast, speed. Yeah,
Speed
kills.
is all, man. That's
right.
That's the only goal. How fast
right.
can you be?
Well, I enjoyed this. Good luck next week.
Yeah, thank you.
With everything, I know it's a lot of stress. Like I said, you organize this thing. It's actually very impressive to watch, and you're at the center of all of it with your earpiece and walkie-talkie.
This is the first year for the earpiece. I don't know how to feel about it. It
Well,
was fine, I guess.
But it's you're trying to listen to in one ear
Mm-hmm.
and in the air. I mean, yeah, I get it. It serves a purpose. So, anyway, I can't wait to kind of sit back and watch it. It should be
Yeah,
fun.
I hope you guys come on out. And
Absolutely.
anyone who wants to come out, it's free. Just come on in. Find you a good spot near the finish line.
Oh, and all the teams put the tents up in the
Yeah,
stands
in the
and
east
sit under
side.
the tents. Yeah,
that's just like a track rule. Tents go on the east side,
Okay.
fans in the west. But yeah, find a good spot at the finish line. Come out and you'll see some really impressive stuff. Like I said, our kids are showing out, and it's
Well,
been a lot of fun.
And if there's certain sports that maybe it's too slow or it's kind of and I just get bored or whatever, then that's the opposite of what you'll see here.
Yeah, it's nonstop.
Always something going on.
Yeah, it's jumps,
and
it's runs, it's nonstop.
constant adrenaline. So, well, Coach Ramby, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, hey, anytime.
Enjoyed it.
Happy
yeah.
to come out here and talk some
That-
track.
That was good stuff. That's been another edition of Power Talk for Coach Ramby. This is Chris Level, our producer Colton Coons. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you again next time.